Welcome back to the Banganator podcast, brought to you by your host, Esley Banga. Season 2, episode 13, and unfortunately, the Cowboys, they disappointed. They got flat out stampeded by the Buffalo Bills. But, on the other hand, I'm still in a good mood because my Texas Longhorns volleyball team won. Let's go. Back-to-back champs. Come on. Let's freaking go. I called it 4 months ago.
Everything big in Texas, man. Come on.
I got my friend with me today.
Yes, sir.
Rod Swalehe.
Yes, sir.
Hey, how you doing, bro?
Hey, doing good, man. You know, just out here. Appreciate it, man, for the opportunity.
Hey, no
come
problem.
on your podcast.
No problem, bro. We finna talk sports today, especially
yes, sir.
the Cowboys. And we
I love them.
Yup. So yeah, like I iterated, the Cowboys, they got stampeded by the Bills, 31-10, and Dak Prescott. I'm gonna get straight into these stats. Dak Prescott went 21-34, 134 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception, and there's multiple interceptions that could have been dropped, or that were dropped by the Bills that could have been interceptions.
Just missed opportunity.
So I'll be honest, I tuned out at halftime. So,
bro,
what'd you think of the game?
I mean, like you said, bro. Dude, you threw for $134, bro. 1 touchdown. I mean, that ain't gonna cut it in a big primetime game.
Come on.
I mean, I know they the Bills, they record, you know, is deceiving to me because it's like, all right, they took some bad L's early on this season. So you still got to come with it, bro. Yeah, you beat the Eagles. Yeah, you beat the Seahawks. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, everybody wants to put it on Dak, which he should have played better. But, bro, that defense, come on. You got it.
Yeah.
Like, don't forget the Cardinals. They ran the ball all the way down y'all throat. So it's like,
and then the Buffalo Bills.
Dude attempted what, 15 passes, bro?
Yeah, 7 of 15.
This is not 1960, bro.
That's how you like. I was just surprised how they committed so much to running the ball,
bro. Like that was like, nah.
And then we still couldn't stop it. Everybody knew what was gonna happen, and we still couldn't stop it. James Cook, their running back, had 179 rushing yards. Come on, bro.
Bro.
And then meanwhile, even though we tried to get the rushing game going in the first quarter, but Tony Pollard only had 52 yards, and he was our leading rusher. Altogether, all of our rushers, including Dak Prescott, had 89 rushing yards. That ain't enough. That ain't gonna cut it.
Fam, their identity, I feel like the Cowboys, they don't really know their identity.
Yeah.
You feel me? It's like, are we gonna oppose our will? Are we gonna run the ball? Or are we gonna pass the ball? Which one is it?
Exactly.
You know, you kind of find your identity first by like finding what works best for you.
Exactly.
Yeah, what playmakers you're gonna utilize more. Like who needs more touches? Like in the first half, in the second half. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Then you trying to run the ball while you down 24-3. It ain't gonna cut nothing.
Because now you got to be aggressive. You got to pass.
And like I said, bro,
they know that you gonna pass.
Can I add to this though? I've been said this with Dallas rush game, man. Like Zeke, they should have kept him.
I disagree.
Look. This is all I say, or at least get it back like him, young. You get what I'm? Get you a bell cow. Then you get Tony Pollard on the screens, little third down runs and stuff like that, bro. I mean, like you gotta have a kind of like a 1-2 punch if you ain't got like the guy back there, which they at the moment they really don't, bro. And I mean, they what they paid Tony Pollard?
I don't know how much they paid him, but that's what I thought. I thought that our run game was gonna be good because we had. Besides Tony Pollard, we had Deuce Vaughn, but he's barely playing because I guess the Cowboys decided that he's too short.
Why draft him if he's too short?
Yeah, exactly.
Like you should have passed him up and grabbed somebody else.
And then they got a running back from Tampa, Ronald Jones from Tampa, and then they had the backup running back Rico Dowdle. I thought all of that would have been enough to sustain a good run game. And it was at first during the first half of the season. Yeah. But now, and you got a point, just Tony Pollard, him being the feature back, it's not enough. And I thought, whenever I looked last year, I thought it would be enough. But I mean, but we need to get rid of Zeke. Yeah. He was only good for goal line situations, but we needed to get rid of him.
I mean, I feel like it was just for the tough yards, but I agree with you with that in that case. But I'm just saying, like, Tony Pollard is not LT Christian McCaffrey or a guy who can do it on a pass game, which Tony Pollard can, but he ain't doing it on a run game like that, really, bro. Like, don't put your all into one player just off of one season, off a little bit. And then you got to think about it. They were sharing touches.
Yeah.
He was fresh legs, bro. Yeah, so it's like,
that's true.
Now you giving them the ball every down or like 2 downs a pop and stuff. Now 3rd down, you got to look for somebody else maybe.
Yeah.
And it just throws everything off. But, hey, man.
So, CeeDee Lamb, he had 53 receiving yards. He was our leading receiver. He had a goal line rush touchdown, but it still wasn't enough. Huh?
Then he had like 4 straight games with 100 yards or something.
It was like 3 straight games with 150 yards and 10 receptions.
Oh, okay.
But
so he was killing
it. And then he was killing it. And then the past 2 games, we were sharing the ball around with at the Seahawks game that I was at, and then the Philly game. But yesterday. On Sunday,
defense,
he wasn't.
Yeah, and they showed up. Didn't
they shut down the rushing game, the passing game, everything.
That's why another playmaker got to come out of there, man.
And I thought somebody like Jake Ferguson would have stepped up too, but he only had 6 receptions, 44 yards, which isn't bad for him. But just nobody stepped up on a good level. And credit to Buffalo's defense.
Yeah, like they because from what it looked like, man, they seen that all right. If we shut out CD, who's gonna be the other more reliable receiver? Like Gallup, what happened to him? Like, is he's not getting into the mix, or is he still coming back from injury?
I don't know if for whatever reason he's I don't know if it's play calling. I don't know if it's
because he only had 1 reception yesterday.
Yeah,
9 yards.
Yeah,
and
Brandon Cooks, he didn't get much either. But
like,
that I think it's an anomaly because yesterday they couldn't do nothing.
Nothing, bro.
Nothing.
Like, it didn't even make sense, bro.
It didn't make sense, and I don't understand. The biggest point is how does our offense look so good at home, and we undefeated at home, but then you go on the road. I think now you 3-4 on the road, and then obviously the biggest games that you lost on the road was against the Cardinals. Against San Francisco, you get blown out, and then now against the Bills.
Yeah, exactly.
There's too big of a gap.
Yeah, it's too big of a gap. It's like it seemed like we different people when we at home, man.
Yeah.
But then you hit the road or something, you forget your skills, you forget all your attributes.
Yeah.
And hey, man, I ain't gonna lie, Michael Parsons, man, he's got to start showing up, bro. These LT comparisons, man, like, hey. I wasn't even old enough to watch LT, but I hear and how I see people revere how much of a game changer he was, bro. Like, okay, you not getting to the quarterback, right? But bro, get some stops. Get absorb 2 or 3 defenders where your other dudes on the back end can make plays for you, man. And I don't think they putting them in the right schemes.
And I'm a partially agree with you because of this. I think that he does get to the quarterback, and when
he's very talented, though.
When he doesn't, he creates pressure. So because of that pressure, now if Michael Parsons is on one side, now they double teaming him. That frees up other players like Mozzie Smith because he got a sack. The only player that got a sack.
Where's DeMarcus Lawrence?
DeMarcus Lawrence. I mean, yeah, you're right. There's a lack of sacks from DeMarcus Lawrence, but other players do eat whenever Micah Parsons creates enough pressure.
Yeah.
Now, something that doesn't get talked about is holding. There's a big issue with referees missing
and
holding calls.
Yeah, the holding calls have been egregious this year. Yeah, exactly. For sure.
So
that I can agree with for sure.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to disagree with you on the Michael Parsons front. You can't count on offensively. You can't count on the defense getting turnovers every game like you used to.
True. Because it wasn't a bad hold.
Got to step up.
Yeah.
Where you at, offense? Come on.
I mean, it was you right on that because it wasn't too much of a big. Because I seen 24-3 comebacks. You know what I mean? Even bigger than that. But I guess what I'm just trying to say is Maybe, because you kind of enlightened me more a little bit about the Michael Parsons situation. What I'm just trying to say, maybe they need another scheme where, as a coach, you got to put your player in the best position to eat. Like, take for instance, TJ Watt, right?
Yeah.
He get double teams, all that stuff too, right?
Yeah.
But he getting sacks too, though, right? Because of the scheme. I feel like to take Micah Parsons over the edge, like how LT had, he had Bill Parcells and Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Dan Quinn, I mean, if he puts him in I feel like disguise it a little bit more, maybe.
Yeah.
But hey, who am I to say? I'm not an NFL coach.
Yeah.
Them Bills linemen too. I ain't gonna lie, they was out there trucking, bro.
They was. Because of this, let's shift over to the MVP conversation. Who you think is leading the MVP conversation right now?
I mean, man, since to me it's a quarterback award.
Yup.
So
that's what my cousin Aaron said last week. Yep.
My MVP really is like Tyreek Hill. Cause he doing some astronomical things right now. Yeah. And but Brock Purdy, most likely, if he keep this up. But the thing is, it's like Christian McCaffrey is just like on his tail on touchdowns too. Yeah. So you know what I mean? Yeah. And plus he catching his touchdowns and he rushing the ball. Christian McCaffrey gotta be MVP. Without him, bro, it didn't look too like how many games he missed this year? Like what, three?
Two? Yeah. 2 or 3.
And they lost all those games.
Including whenever that was around the same time that Trent Williams was out, their offensive lineman, and whenever Debo was out. And then we saw without those weapons, Brock Purdy couldn't do nothing.
Oh man, he looked normal at that point, bro. Because the thing is with him, it's like I want to give it to him. Like he's a great player, outstanding. Yeah. I see. All right, man. You not a system quarterback. We're not finna say that. No. Yeah. You actually a legit good
he
quarterback.
Was, but now he's elevated himself.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You like, all right, you a starter now, bro. Like legit starter. Yeah. But MVP, elite, that's when it's like, ooh.
And this is a weird year to talk MVP because
exactly,
like there's nobody that's standing out. It's all, just, do you want it? Oh, do you want it? Dak's at the top. Oh, do you want it? Y'all want it?
What I'm saying.
Tyreek Hill, he didn't play this past Sunday, so now it's just really up for debate. So I think right now Dak Prescott has fallen down, and it's back to like now even with Brock Purdy, Dak, and Tyreek, really. But
what about Jalen Hurts? What if he?
Because they ain't been playing. They ain't been playing up to snuff. Nope, they ain't been playing up to par.
You're right. He can't be MVP.
Lamar Jackson, maybe.
Lamar Jackson,
Dak Prescott,
and
then Brock
Purdy. MVP right there.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Action Jackson, Lamar Jackson. He might creep into this conversation too, and I'm surprised that he hasn't more.
Bro,
the lack of coverage on the Ravens is egregious, really. Bro, they 11-3 right now?
Bro, tell me about it, bro. It's
the
like
head of the AFC.
You would think they lost like 7 games, bro. Yeah. The way they not talking about them, bro. Yeah. Bro, all right. So you mean to tell me, all right, it's because the way they win it's not looking too great. Like say for instance, right? 14 for 24, 171. He got a touchdown, interception. But he got 12 carries, 97 yards, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He even got this tight end involved that they said Mark Andrews, he's gone. Oh, he ain't going to have his buddy to be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. But which I thought their offense would take a hit too because Mark Andrews was gone.
Exactly.
But it hasn't.
Yesterday, it wasn't really like a pretty game, but they still got the job done, and they've been getting the job done week to week, bro.
Yeah, let's shift to Cowboys versus Dolphins.
Yes, sir.
Cowboys versus Dolphins preview. Both teams are 10-4 right now. Obviously, both teams have had dominant wins, and both teams have had disappointing losses. Obviously, the biggest playmakers, Tua Tagovailoa. And I have him as a fantasy football quarterback. He's been producing a lot of points for me. Tyreek Hill, obviously, MVP candidate right now. He was injured this past week.
Who can catch that, man?
Nobody. Like I've been saying, he's always a threat to hit his head on the goalpost.
My goodness.
He was injured, but he most likely will play against us. And then you got Jalen Waddle. I got him on my fantasy football team as well.
Sneaky. He's like a sleeper. Yeah, like people do not talk about him enough, man.
And there's some games where he can get 2 touchdowns in one game, so he can always make plays. How do you think this will go down, and ultimately, who do you think will win?
See, now, what I want to see with this game is like how the defenses are going to play, because these two teams obviously can put up points. And the thing is, Miami, I wouldn't say they're kind of like a finesse team. They throw the ball like a lot. Yeah. Obviously. But they can run the ball too, I feel like, man.
Raheem Mostert, Devon A-Chain.
Oh, bro.
Yeah.
Them dudes out there that they got back there in the backfield, man, they're legit. So it's like Dallas, if you come with the right, mindset, you know what I'm saying? Forget about what happened on Sunday. Come with the right mindset. It could be a good game, man. And I'm looking forward to a shootout. I actually want to see a shootout, man.
Between Tua and Dak, that would be fun.
It's a bounce back game for both teams, really, if you think about it. Hey, it's just gonna be up to those DBs to see if they can hang with Tyreek, man.
Exactly. And Tyreek possibly going off. That's the reason. That's what I'm most scared of. Like DaRon Bland. Obviously, DaRon Bland is doing historic things this year.
He's nice.
But he's kind of like Trayvon Diggs. He's so aggressive because he's looking for turnovers. He's looking for interceptions that he bites on double moves. So before you know it, like he could have, an interception, but he can also bite on a double move. They got you burnt, and then they're taking off for touchdowns. So Tyreek Hill really scares me. I think our defense can get enough pressure if our defense plays way better than plays like they did against the Seahawks, against Philly, against the Commanders, like they've been doing the past 4 games. If they play like that and get pressure on Tua, especially Micah, like you pointed out, then I think we can affect some things. It's like turnovers too. Offense too. Got to step up. Like you said, bounce back. You just got to bounce back. Do what you do and keep it a close game. And we got the ability to win this game. But the thing is, you're on the road again. You haven't been playing good on the road. Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. It's not known for being hostile and super loud, but again, you're on the road and you got to step up. You can't be that team that you were against the Bills. So, with that being said, I feel like it's going to be a tight game, and I feel like the Cowboys might barely edge out the Dolphins, but it can really go either way. It's really 50-50 to be honest.
Yeah, to be honest.
So we'll see.
This episode of the Banganator podcast was recorded in MZ Studios. MZ Studios is a premier podcast studio located in the Ritchie Group Tower in Dallas, offering full-service audio and video podcast production. Book with MZ Studios today.
It's time once again for the Banganator's top banging moments from week 15 in the NFL. Coming in at number 4, Jake Browning against the Vikings, specifically Jake Browning's throw against the Vikings. Needing a first down, Jake Browning with pressure throws into a tight window, and I mean tight window, to Tyler Boyd. Boyd goes down the right sideline, finally gets tackled by Vikings defenders, and that play set up the game-winning field goal versus the Vikings. At number 3, I got Lamar Jackson's throw and Isaiah Likely's catch. Axon Jackson in the pocket, facing pressure, ducks under a would-be sack, resets his feet, he throws a nice touch pass to tight end Isaiah Likely. Likely mossed over 2 Jags defenders. I couldn't think of a better throw and catch in week 15. At number 2, give me the Raiders blowout against the Chargers. 63-21. At halftime, the Raiders were up 42-0. Raiders had 4 pass touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns, a pick 6, and a scoop and score. They just kept piling on and piling on and piling on. But hey, good news came out of that. The Chargers finally fired Dan Staley as head coach. And at number 1, I got T. Higgins touchdown catch. From the 21-yard line, Jake Browning made a throw. T. Higgins mossed Caleb Evans at the 1 yard line. He twisted his body and reached over the pylon. Touchdown. That touchdown tied the game 24 apiece, and that allowed for the game-winning field goal later on. Hey, Rod, what you think of my list?
I like your list, man, but I will put. You said T. Higgins first, right? I would switch Lamar Jackson and the Raiders.
Okay. All right. So you would have Lamar Jackson's throw and Isaiah Likely's catch at 2, and then the Raiders at 3. All right. Why is that?
Because come on,
he
bro.
is like that.
Brandon Staley, he was out of there. They gave up on their coach, bro.
He should have been fired. Yeah, First of all, he should have been fired
last
year whenever
bro.
They gave up that lead in the playoffs.
Yes, man. He should have been out of there,
He should have been fired multiple times this season.
You got Khalil Mack and you got Derwin James.
Yeah.
Then you got Hendricks from the Vikings.
And then you got Justin Herbert wasting his talent.
Joey Bosa, bro, get him out of there, bro.
Yeah, long overdue.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson. Oh my God, bro. How do you see bro? He got eyes somewhere.
Nice.
No,
that was
bro.
nice. That was nice.
That was crazy. Yeah. And then, bro, he mossed 2 people. Come on, bro.
Yeah. That was
T.
crazy.
Higgins, though.
Yeah, that T. Higgins play. Hey, yeah, that's why that's how you moss, and then you don't fall out of bounds. You just reach back over. That's my top banging moments from Week 15. Thank you for your input, bro.
I appreciate you, bro. Anytime.
Texas Volleyball, back-to-back champs. Let's go. Texas fight, hook 'em. Man, I'm so freaking hyped. I don't even care that the Cowboys lost, because that's how hyped I was about Texas Volleyball. Texas versus Nebraska in the national championship. Before I get into these stats, first of all, 4 weeks ago, I told y'all Texas was going to go back-to-back. I called it. Whenever I saw Nebraska playing, I was like, man, Nebraska's the biggest threat to Texas right now, because they were playing like that. They were 28-1 in the regular season. I forgot what they finished the regular season with, but they barely lost, and they were dominant. And to sweep Nebraska 3-0, that's unprecedented. I'm gonna make comparisons like this. Texas looked like the Buffalo Bills, and Nebraska looked like the Cowboys. I don't know how Nebraska was sweeping teams in the NCAA tournament and then looked so inept against Texas. In set 1, we won 25-22, and there were some violations that Texas committed towards the end of that set, and I thought that was going to cost us, but thankfully we rallied, finished the set off. Set 2, we won 25-14, including 11 straight points, an 11-0 run. That was including 4 straight aces by Asia O'Neal. Dominance. And then in set 3, 25-11. Every single set, Nebraska scored less and significantly less points. Nobody could do nothing. Not Becca Alec, not Merritt Beeson, nobody. Madison Skinner led Texas with 16 kills. Asia O'Neal had 5 aces, including 4 straight aces in the second set. Bella Bergmark and Jenna Wennis both had 4 blocks. Ella Swindle leading the team in assists with 21, and as a freshman, she has been outstanding. Emma Halter with 9 digs. And just some fun facts for y'all. Madison Skinner is now a 3-time national champion. She won back-to-back, obviously, with us this year and last year. And then in 2020, she won by beating Texas as a Kentucky freshman. And then Keeley Akana, she transferred from Nebraska in 2022. And then look where we are now. The rest is history. She beat her former team in the NATTY. Now, I know she said that she got love for Nebraska, and kudos, but hey, watch she come to Texas, because she knew where it was at. Texas was making moves. I compared it to Jerry Jones in the 90s with the Cowboys. Texas was making moves to win. Speaking of Nebraska, listen to this clip of Nebraska's head coach being salty.
If you look at tonight's match, I mean, they've got half their starting team are transfers. They're all 4th and 5th year players, except for Ella. the setter who did a great job. So they've got, that's how they've been building their teams. That's how they built last year's team. I like what we're doing. I like recruiting kids and trying to make them be great.
And where did that get you? You were the runner-up. This isn't college sports, isn't pro sports. Now the game has changed. You got to dip into college free agency, which is the transfer portal. Go get those key players from the transfer portal like Texas did. So yeah, Texas got 4 and 5 year seniors, but that's why we're back-to-back championships. Like I said, 90s Jerry Jones with the Cowboys. That's the mindset that Texas had. Nebraska, that's the reason why you runner-up. So quit being salty, Nebraska, specifically their head coach. We gonna try to make it a three-peat. Some Nebraska volleyball players say that starting next year, they was gonna try to get a repeat the next 3 years. Hey, that ain't happening, bro. Texas is still right here. We here. We still here. So let's freaking go. Texas fight. Thank y'all for tuning in to this episode of the Banganator Podcast. Please follow me on the Banganator Podcast Instagram and Banganator_4 on the Twitter X. Again, appreciate you, Rob, for coming on. Appreciate you, boy. Yeah.
Always, bro.
Yeah.
Just y'all be safe for the holidays. Tune in to my boy podcast. Really good stuff here, man. Nice hospitality, man. And let's just end the year off right, man.
Yeah,
that's all we can do.
Yeah. Cowboys, you got Miami. Come on, let's get this dub, Cowboys.
Gotta do something.
And once again, gotta close it out with Texas. Texas, 2-time back-to-back national champions for volleyball. Let's go. Woo!
The Banganator podcast is brought to you by Esley Banga, diehard fan of the Dallas Cowboys since 1997. How about them Cowboys?